Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to you all. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to today's session of the FinTech lecture series, organized by CIFIL, the CAMS IIM FinTech Innovation Lab. Through this series, we aim to foster dialogue between academia and industry on the evolving landscape of financial technology. We are truly honored to have with us today Mr. Kannan, a highly respected corporate and economic advisor, independent director, and member of the Harvard Business Review Advisory Council. Mr. Kannan is an alumnus of the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and brings with him over 3 decades of experience across corporate strategy, finance, performance governance, and public policy. He has held senior leadership roles at the Hinduja Group, contributed to global economic policy discussions with institutions like IMF, and has been a valued member on advisory boards of leading academic and financial institutions. His expertise spans both strategic boardroom thinking and macroeconomic insight, making him exceptionally well positioned to speak on today's topic, the fintech ecosystem, navigating the present, shaping the future.
That you all have your exams tomorrow, some of you are having today also. So I will be very fast. This presentation might go for 3 hours also, but I'll try to do it in 45 minutes. Yeah. So actually I came to attend yesterday. I would like to congratulate the center. We are collaborating with PSU banks, conducting hackathons, and some teams were already, you got awards yesterday. I don't know, all of you attended the program. A lot of insights came on FinTechs. In fact, some of the aspects even I was not aware. The thinking of RBI is saying that even visually impaired people should be able to use apps. So they are saying that you should go and develop voice-based apps which anybody can use. Yeah. So when you talk about FinTech, 5 years back, not even 5, maybe 6 years back, India was not that well known. But in 2024, you know who had the largest number of transactions in the world? Digital. We became number 1 in the world. We were 3 about 4 years back. Then we became number 2. 2024, India became the largest, I think more than 206 billion transactions in a year. That is almost 46-47% of digital transaction in the world. Yeah. But how we became number 1? You all know the story, UPI. UPI today, I think users are very large. In fact, we are the largest digital users in the world today thanks to UPI. But in terms of value, if you see, it is China. Value, because they were having all these e-commerce websites. They developed Alipay and all that. So the transaction value per transaction value is very high for Chinese transactions. But people are saying if you look at the bulk transactions, still the statistics.
Even 1 rupee does.
1 rupee also. So imagine if you have to do this transaction in any other country, the transaction cost per transaction will be 3-4 rupees. Whereas we made it possible even for 1 rupee you can transfer. Yeah. Of course, UPI transactions are free, so we will come to that. So that is a background, and in fact, the Indian government, many other governments in the world, we are speaking to government on how to adopt this UPI type of model in their countries. I think right now UPI is available in how many countries? 6 or 7? France, Middle East, I don't know, Malaysia, Singapore, I don't know, I am not sure. So some 6-7 countries already UPI is available. You can do UPI transactions like how we are doing it here. So that is the background. I will just take you through. So if you see the rise of Indian FinTech ecosystem, it is all about ecosystem. 5 years back there was no concept of ecosystem. Whenever somebody talked about an industry, they talked only about the industry. But if any industry to grow, the industry itself cannot grow by itself. You require a lot of supporting industries. So that is called ecosystem. So now ecosystem, every government official uses that very sophisticated way, ecosystem. This concept was not even within profession 5 years ago. Only big four consultants used to talk about ecosystem. So now ecosystem has become a common word. One, you see India has emerged as the major hub for digital transactions today. In fact, every month they report the amount of transactions happening through UPI, through ATM. These figures are available if any of you subscribe to Economic Times Finance. I think it is CFO or Finance. I get 7-8 newsletters from them on different industries. So it is either ET Finance or ET CFO. So they send a daily report in which every month, at the end of the month, after 3-4 days, they give details of digital transactions under various methods like credit card. Then they talk about UPI, ATM. All those are these statistics are available today to capture. So rapid growth India, then Digital India initiative, you all know Prime Minister Modi, he brought a lot of initiatives, Startup India, Digital India. Last year World Bank has brought out a report on Indian digital system. You can Google and find the report. So where they talk about how now India is talking to other countries like how we can share our digital infrastructure. They are saying that now digital is a kind of infrastructure which is going to steer the economy. I think China is still the leader in terms of number of subscriptions, but maybe cost, if you see, I have not compared China with India, but they brought that mobile penetration, because they brought that price down. Many people are afford to go and buy mobiles. So then they started using, that is how UPI came, no? UPI was facilitated by mobile penetration. So the basic infrastructure is that mobile system. In fact, yesterday I think one of the theme was how to develop mobile apps. So that is how we are able to bring all this cost down. So Digital India initiative. In fact, now we have a global FinTech festival also every year being held. I think this year also in Mumbai, I think. Geo Center only. Then large unbanked, underbanked population. In fact, this government brought one scheme whereby they wanted to bring many of these people who are not having banking accounts. So I think under that scheme they are able to enroll more than 40 crore people. So earlier there are more than 300 schemes in the government for which there are beneficiaries, farmers. Now you know ladies are being given money. Now it has been made mandatory that they need to have a bank account. So earlier money used to go to the agency used to distribute to the people. But now what happens is under this scheme all money goes, it's called direct benefit transfer, directly goes into their accounts. So if you see these accounts alone today have a balance of 2 lakh crores in the banking system. 2 lakh crores, yeah. The government push for financial inclusion, yesterday everybody is talking about this only. Financial inclusion means it actually benefits the economy. You know how all the transactions becoming formal, which means all the transactions happening comes into the formal reporting system of GDP. So your GDP becomes higher. Second is all transactions come under digital, it's captured by government. I don't know, there were some, whether it was a real news or fake news. They said that roadside vendor, he was levied a tax, income tax of 1,50,000 based on his UPI transactions. So it leaves a trail, you cannot escape. So that is how, if you see last 5 years also Indian government, there was a higher level of digitization. Indian government was able to collect more and more taxes. So Indian economy has become stronger because of the digitization, because they are collecting more. GST last month, they are struggling. 2 years ago, when they introduced the GST, they wanted to collect 1,40,000 crores per month, but they are struggling at 1 lakh crores. Last month, for the first time, they collected 2.25 lakh crores GST. So that is the advantage of digital system. Of course, you all know today more than 1,50,000 registered startups in India. So if you are registering under the startup scheme with the government, I know some of you are trying your new ventures, you all are registered under the startup scheme, then you get lot of concessions, benefits, cheaper funding, yeah, and they might give guidance also. Of course, you get the guidance here, but funding and all will be much easier. Foreign investment inflow, of course, you are finding from October to February, money was going out. But even yesterday I found there was a positive inflow, last 14 sessions. Yeah, 14 sessions of stock market. Now, foreign investors are more confident about Indian economy compared to other economies. So they are bringing more money. Of course, technology advancement. We have one of the largest IT ecosystems in the world, IT. Now we are also getting these data centers. Yeah, of course, 50%, more than 50% of data centers in India are in Maharashtra. But now every state is trying to bring more data centers. So you will find technology advancement also, AI, ML, and even if you go to leading IT companies in the world, you find that technology officers are from India. The people who are driving technology are from India. Yeah, and of course we have leading companies, at least 5 companies in India which are leading, and now India has a mission for quantum computing, where I think they have given money to 4 or 8 companies. They have given money for quantum computing. Then I discussed about UPI. Then of course digital wallet. How many of you are using digital wallets? Not using? You are inside the campus, so you may not be availing many facilities. So when I come here inside, it looks more like somewhere you have gone to a holiday. That feeling I get. Yeah. So the digital wallets, especially if you are living inside the city, for anything and everything you will be using those wallets. That is how that Paytm and all became very popular. Yeah. So in fact, if you talk about FinTech, Paytm is not making money, but even these FinTechs went and apart from telecom companies, these FinTechs went and popularized the adoption of FinTech. Zerodha as a stock market trading company, it popularized the trading with all people like you. If you see the profile of customers, they are all students of a college or just come out of college, lot of youngsters, where they were giving equity trading 0 commission, and for option derivative trading only 20 rupees. But sometimes For one trade I pay 400, 500 also. So they were charging only 20 rupees. Yeah. So they made it possible. They democratized. Paytm, Zerodha, Grow. These companies went and democratized. They made more people use these services. So it's not only it will not grow by itself. There are companies which come and they start developing the market. Yeah. Rise of neo banking. I wrote in my blog 10, 11 years ago. Banks will have competition from telecom companies. Now you know all telecom companies have a pay system. Yeah. And of course your Amazon Pay is there. Flipkart, what is the pay? Phone Pay. Phone Pay they sold, no? They sold it. Then contactless payments, most of you has enabled contactless payment through your debit card or credit card. So that has become now payment aggregators and gateways. Yesterday in fact when MD of IOB spoke, what he was saying was that banks will become aggregators going forward. They will not do only banking. We used to call 20 years ago universal banking. The bank will do everything. Like you go to banks like ICICI, HDFC, SBI, Axis. Axis is not an insurance. SBI, ICICI, HDFC, they have life insurance, general insurance, trading platforms. Then they have bond trading companies. So you name anything on finance, but of course they don't have NBFC. HDFC has got NBFC. SBA does not have NBFC. So that aggregator, what will happen is that now this concept is being discussed. RBI also bringing out regulations on that aggregator and focus on interoperability. That's what yesterday the CGM of RBI was emphasizing, that if you are developing a system, it should be able to talk to some other system. It cannot be standalone. Then only it can be grown. If you are going to have standalone system, then it will not grow. Yeah, the faster adoption. In fact, when Facebook purchased Instagram, WhatsApp. So when they purchased, everybody said the price was very high and all. So now every year they get 3-4 times what they have paid for Instagram and all that. In fact, they get more money because it picked up. India has got the, I think, largest number of users of Instagram and Facebook. Because China, it's restricted, otherwise it would have been number one. But they have similar ones within China. Yeah. Then focus on interoperability. I have to be fast. Lending, this is where many of these FinTechs. I remember 10, 11 years ago only people used to come and meet me and say, we have developed a platform where you can lend 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs and there will be people who will be bidding. That time interest from bank was 8-9%. They said you might get 18-20 also. So they will bid for whomever you like, you can lend. We are only a platform. Hello. So the digital lending platforms, there are many. In fact, I think last year, if you look at personal lending, more than 42% I think of lending, personal lending, consumer loans were sourced through these lending platforms. But now RBI has cautioned and all that, because through that route when you get, maybe you are getting more NPAs. So then P2P lending, that is what I told you about 10-11 years ago. That again it's under strict surveillance and regulation by RBI. Embedded finance and lending, you all know, when you buy from Amazon, Flipkart and all, they say you can pay in 12 months, 24 months. So they finance. So when you are doing something, along with that they also give you finance. Focus on MSME lending. This is where I think yesterday he was talking about RBI, I think. So MSME, again there is a rise in bad debts now, especially in unsecured lending of banks. There is a rise in bad debts last year. Microfinance, personal finance, then all these they have found unsecured lending. So now banks have become little more careful in lending money, but at the same time government also says that they increase the limit for MSME lending. What is that? We are up to 10 lakhs, no collateral, then mudra. Now they increased to 20 lakhs, no? 20 lakhs. Then buy now, pay later. This is again something like what we discussed about embedded finance. So now you can buy, you can pay in 24 installments. So they tie up with the various banks and credit card companies. And you know, most of the products today sold are through installments. If somebody is buying a Mercedes car, 85% is installment. Yeah, most of the cars purchased today are 80% installment. So that is how they sell also, easy to sell. Then challenges in risk assessment, but of course today there are advanced tools which are available to estimate the risk. So now companies have started using what is called triangulation method. What is triangulation method is you don't do risk analysis only from one perspective. If you want to lend it to a MSME, then you see how much GST they paid. Then you find out now, as I was telling you, most of them have become digital. So you can also find out digitally how much transaction they have done. And I was attending a conference by L&T Finance, where L&T Finance in collaboration with the RBI Innovation Hub in Bangalore, they have even gone to the extent of assessing a customer based on the type of house he is living. Even if it is a village, if it is a 2-bedroom house, they take a photo. And based on that, so they assess one through the income document they give. Second is, of course, today Aadhaar and everything is there, bank statement is there. Third, tax they pay. Fourth, most of them in rural areas they don't pay tax, even when they make so much money. Why rural? Urban also. So now they started assessing the credit worthiness of a person based on the type of house they live. So these are also so they capture. Plus they also assess if they want to lend money to farmer. They use this technology, weather forecasting technology, how that crop will be there in different areas. So these are all technology based. That L&T Finance, I don't know whether it was available on their website, but for tractor loan, for agriculture loan, they had 7 stalls. How they are dispersing loans, and based on not a single method, they have 3-4 methods to assess. Then of course, so now risk assessment, we are getting more and more advanced. Now they start using AI tools also, then much easier to predict. 25 years ago, there is a bank in US called Capital One. That time the concept of credit rating customer and all was there, but not on a high level. They used to employ that time 2000 people, 300 PhDs. Their main job was to analyze when a person will stop paying installments or stop paying credit cards. So only 2000 people 25 years ago for analysis. Since they are doing that, their margin compared to Citibank, JP Morgan and all was higher by 2%. So that is why today you have this, some of you are saying data analysis, and that will be very useful. Then of course online insurance aggregators, now what has happened, the insurance penetration in India is only 4%. So Government of India has decided that in 25-30 years 100% of population should be covered, and still concepts of insuring a house. In fact, today afternoon there is a conference on climate finance insurance. I will be attending 3 to 5. So they have brought a new concept called Bima Sugam, where they are saying under one platform all insurance companies should put their products and customers should have a preference to choose. And also they say that most of the time we all have only one type of insurance, life or vehicle. So they want all other insurance to be covered. So they say every person will have 4-5 insurance. So that is the type of thing where this FinTech, as of today only 150 or 200 companies are there in insurance technology. Not many are there. Unlike bank, there are more than 5,000 FinTech. How many are there FinTechs in India? No idea. When I last read it was more than 5,000. So out of that only 150 plus are involved in insurance, InsurTech. Then usage based insurance, right now we pay insurance whether we use it or not. I am paying my car insurance for last 40 years, I have never claimed a single paisa. Yeah. My health insurance I availed only 3 years ago, and this year also they increased it by 80%, that Bajaj, they are not reducing it. But now government is saying that senior citizens should not be, that increase should not be very high. So you can use AI and IoT. Again, if you use AI, you know exactly whether somebody is claiming it correctly or it's a bogus claim. All that is possible when you start using technology. Then micro insurance products, we have some insurance products for agriculture and all. Small, like you have UPI, no? We can have insurance products which can, actually we have, I think banks are marketing it. State Bank 12 rupees you pay, 2 lakhs is covered, accident insurance. 350 you pay, they are deducting every year for me, then I told them stop, I was not getting the policy. When you book a flight or train ticket, immediately you get a policy. But SBI deducts from your account, but they don't issue a policy. So I told them, you issue a policy and...
Did they stop, sir? Did they stop?
No, it is there. No.
They didn't stop in spite of my request.
They are still deducting, no? 12 rupees they are deducting.
18 rupees.
Now it is 18. Oh. But they don't issue the policy. Then embedded insurance, something like what we discussed. So like we are doing it right now. Whenever you book a flight ticket, whenever you book a train ticket, or you can buy insurance. There are different products. I can tell you only not even 1 in 100 who pay for it are going to use it. So that is a big profitable segment for them. Then of course I told you only 4% is the penetration, still very low in India. So far people are selling life insurance on the basis of if you die the money will come. Then all these companies introduced what is called term type, where they were assuring you unit linked, where they were assuring returns. So there also they make a lot of money in asset management. There are complaints. In fact, insurance authority is one who receive the maximum complaints from customers. Well, they don't settle health insurance unless you write to the CEO. It's not easy to get. Investment, I told you, these are two companies which made it a big success. Zerodha, they don't give advice, but they have Zerodha Academy. If you go through that website, on any subject they have answer. Zerodha. So they were able to attract lot of youngsters. I think now Grow is bigger than Zerodha. Just see whether Grow is bigger than Zerodha in terms of. So you have online brokerage platform. In fact, some of the platforms which make very good money are ICC Securities and HDFC Securities. They have a very large number and they are loyal customers, and they also trade in a big way. Of course, then you have Motilal Oswal and all that. Yeah? But last quarter, Motilal Oswal made a loss of 900 crores. I don't know from where did they make. The mutual fund investment platform, yesterday, I think the promoter of your center camps, he was saying that mutual funds is one area where the lending can happen. So after that, during a dinner, I was discussing with him. About 40 lakh crores is retail investments. Out of that, so far only against 1 lakh people have lent money. But you require, if you are holding an investment of 1 lakh, then you will get a loan of only 50,000. 50% is the coverage. So that is a, in fact, I tell you, 10 years ago, mutual funds brought a scheme like, you know, among all the financial products, which product they give the highest commission? Insurance. When you buy life insurance, first year they are paid, then every year they are being paid. So insurance also brought a concept. They told distributors, if you sell my product, whatever you are selling, maybe upfront 2-3%, every year they will pay 1%. So if you purchased a mutual fund through a distributor, your return will be 1% less compared to when you buy a product directly from the company. So now you can buy a mutual fund directly from their website also. So then you will get a higher return. So now you have mutual fund investment platforms. The alternate investment platforms are there, like P2P lending I told you. Then personal finance. There are applications where they say you can aggregate all your bank accounts. I think people are talking about applications where government is talking about where you can store all your information in one like digital locker. No? So you can have information about your bank account, your insurance policies, your mutual funds, everything in one place, and SEBI is talking about common KYC for everyone. SEBI is working on that. If that comes, there will be much easier. But only worry is that if anyone wants to know what you have, at one click they will know everything. So that is where data privacy comes. And of course, when these mutual funds came, the 10 years ago, what happened? The distributors started promoting mutual funds like insurance companies. Then this concept of SIP, systemic investment plan, every month you invest. So that caught the attention of everyone. So all retail investors started putting money. In fact, last 3 years, if our market has done well, the main reason is that mutual funds through SIP, they are able to collect a lot of money. So that is a growing retail. Other key areas, of course, we talked about regulation. Regulation is one area. You all heard about a sandbox yesterday. RBI has got a sandbox. If you say you have a product, so you can test that for a year or two on how it works. Now that sandbox has been introduced by SEBI also for this wealth management products. I think, I am not sure whether insurance they have done that, but SEBI also has introduced a sandbox. So regulatory technology solutions. Then blockchain cryptocurrency. Blockchain, the cryptocurrency is all based on that, but blockchain mainly people have started using within a company to start with. And of course, the major application of blockchain is your cryptocurrencies, where you will not be able to tamper with the data Yeah, it's all a chain and it is a distributed. So no one will be able to tamper with the data. Then open banking initiatives, basically open banking means you want a customer to become, like I told you, Bima Sugam in insurance. They want give a customer a choice, open banking. Account aggregator we discussed, cross border payment. We already had SWIFT that time, but now I told you UPI when you travel abroad also, you will be use it from 7 countries. Then rural FinTech, I was telling you that L&T Finance, I was really impressed. How they are using the technology to lend money in rural areas. So they go, they find out how much farm he has, what is the produce he has, what type of house he lives in. Yeah, 3 room, 4 room, 1 floor, 2 floors. So based on that they do that. So what are the main areas? Of course, I think one of your major topic was cyber security. So cyber security is one area which is very difficult to predict what can happen. And also what we are seeing in the last 5 years, every year the number of cyber attacks are increasing and not decreasing. So that is one. And data privacy, of course, India has I think rules are yet to be brought out. The Personal Data Protection Act has been passed. Final rules are not yet to come, no? Final rules. Final rules have come? No, not yet. So once the rules come, then they will start implementing. The model is that, but they say it is a very difficult model. First, the Data Privacy Act was brought by European Union. I think in the month of May 2018, if I am not mistaken, 18 or 21. So they are the first one. But they say if you are going to adopt those rules, it is very tough for people to prosper. So cyber security, data privacy, regulatory uncertainty. Regulations are still evolving. The regulation always catches up. They cannot be proactive. Yeah. So that is the issue with the regulation. So whenever there is a big fiasco, then they come out with immediate some regulation. Yeah. That is what SEBI, that FPI, they brought some regulation in the month of October, with effect from October. Then we saw FPI inflow coming down. So now SEBI chairman is saying optimum regulation. So now people have started coming back. Then of course competition from traditional players. So FinTechs, they alone will not be able to do it on a large scale, like your Paytm, or of course Zerodha has done it, but they have to collaborate. What we saw yesterday, Indian Bank has how many people? 170 or 350 companies? 170 companies they have tied up. Then financial literacy and awareness, there is one where a lot of money is being spent by the Bankers Association, then you have that Mutual Fund Association, NSE, BSE. SEBI also has a fund for creating awareness. Then of course opportunity for collaboration. So what are the trends? I will not delve deep. One is that using AI and ML, you will be able to improve the customer experience. Like I told you, risk assessment, that AI can extract data from both quantitative and qualitative and give you answers. Yeah? You all know about large language models and small language models, and Mr. Nandan Nilakani says that India, we should focus on small language models, which means if you are doing within your company, take only that data and analyze, something like that. Large language models, you get data from outside. But yesterday what we heard from NPCI person is that most of the FinTechs, how they prospered was they used that cloud in a big way, which reduced the cost for them to scale up. Then automated compliance, that is possible once you define the rules, regulations. Predictive analytics, in a normal situation you can have 3 scenarios, 4 scenarios. When you are using these technologies you can have 100 scenarios, and for each scenario you can have impact. Yeah. Then I heard one of you are working on this concept, AI driven systems, automated trading, and personalized financial advice. That is what everybody is saying, that when I was working in a corporate, these people are from IITs and IIMs, but 80% of them, they never invested directly. They are investing through mutual funds, or they were doing it with an advisor. So, because you need to then monitor, yeah, on a continuous basis. So, of course, blockchain and Web3, blockchain, we have decentralized finance, digital ID solutions, smart contracts, yeah, you can automate financial agreements and transactions, tokenize the assets. Tokenize the assets means today if you want to sell a property, how much time it takes. So, when you introduce a token system, you just change the token to somebody else, finished. So, last year in that FinTech festival, Nandan Nilakani spoke about, you can look for it, 40 minutes on tokenization. He spoke or somebody else spoke, I don't know. So, tokenization of assets makes your life simple. Any asset you want to transfer to anybody else, whether it is a physical asset, movable asset, if you have tokens linked to it, then if you want to transfer to a person next to you, it's easy. Then of course API, this is what most of FinTechs are doing with the banks and insurance companies. Through APIs they are trying to give solutions. You have seamless data sharing, you can have innovative products, faster, more efficient processes. Customer will have control. Of course, all of us are able to see today, if you are a credit card holder, the bank gives you a statement on what percentage you have spent on travel, how much you have spent on food. Categorization is available. Yeah. So, like that, if you want to find out also, now apps are available where you can easily analyze your own spending pattern. So, enhance customer control, of course, that when you talk about open systems, competition has to come, then only new ideas will come and it will be easier. Yeah. Then personalized financial management. Embedded finance we talked about, it's already happening in Amazon, Flipkart. Whenever you buy, yeah, they give you finance. That is embedded finance. So, it's increased convenience for users, new revenue streams for businesses, democratization of financial access. So, BNPL is buy now, pay later at checkout, and insurance embedded in travel bookings. This is one area, India, we have already gone a very long distance in terms of financial inclusion. I told you, asking people to open, those who did not have bank accounts, to open a bank account, that itself has increased the financial inclusion in a big way. And now, I think 90% of payments to people, or maybe even not 100, I think there are some still schemes where money is dispersed through the agency, directly it goes to bank. So, that reduces the leakage in the system, and it makes the beneficiary gets the benefit. Yeah. And digital literacy initiatives, like I told you, Zerodha, Yugo, they have university. Anything on stocks you want to read, I think Grow also has. Grow in fact sends me, I am not on their platform still, I don't know where they got. They send a everyday report, Grow. Affordable and accessible products, and of course this is that I told you, Jam Trinity we call. Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile in India. One more thing which has enabled this digital penetration is Aadhaar. But now they are saying that for your citizenship and all, only passport and voter ID. They say Aadhaar is not allowed. Passport I saw, voter ID they said, I don't know. So, so they are required. Passport they accept. Then of course digital channels, it is very easy. Well, today penetration of smartphones are also increasing. So instead of people watching all the time TV and serials, they can be made to watch these programs also. Then social and financial returns. You know, in India we have allowed the stock exchanges to create what is called social stock exchange segment, where the people, somebody wants to raise funds for social cause. It can be a project where you can give return to shareholder also. That is called a social business. Otherwise also, this brings a lot of transparency and also makes transparent. You have an objective, you want to support some project, you want to raise funds. So I was moderating a session where head of SSC of BSc and NSC were there 2 months ago in a conference, and they were saying so far in the last 2 years in both exchanges they raised only 10 crores. But right now NSC has spoken to some large companies like ONGC and others, where now you will see a lot of new issues happening, and even a hospital. They want to set up an hospital also, they are going to raise funds. So now it is going to be very popular now. Impact investment FinTech. So this social stock exchange is that. So it is going to bring a lot of transparency. And they also want to attract CSR funds. All these 1,000 companies are covered under SEBI regulations on spending their profit on CSR. So some of those funds also will come into this through this platform. Of course, regulation is very important. There is always a discussion. Regulation can stop the progress, but if you don't have regulation, then we see, I think Bombay had the highest number of cyber theft, or cyber bullying in India last year. So you require regulation also, you have to balance innovation risk. That is why this concept of sandbox is there. Then developing frameworks for emerging technologies. One good thing is that, as you have seen, RBI for hackathon they invite the teams from others also, other countries. This FinTech festival is all about that. So you develop framework promoting interoperability, data privacy we discussed, international collaboration and continuous dialogue with the industry. In between we saw actually the Paytm business model was initially you get customer through UPI, but later on you start selling them mutual funds, you start selling them other financial products and start earning money. I think slowly it is coming up, but we have to wait and see. Zerodha is mutual fund now, so they are asking their customers to invest. So though, like I told you, mutual funds they get regular commission. The investment, of course, like I told you, India this year, 2 weeks ago, IMF and World Bank they concluded their meeting. They revised the economic forecast for countries. The least affected among large countries was India. They reduced our growth by only 30 to 50 basis points. Whereas in US and China, they reduced it by 100 basis points. The most affected will be US and China. So that is why you find foreign investors are coming. And of course, scalable and sustainable business model. In 2000, there was a craze for internet companies. How do you value companies? Based on profit. So at that time, how they are valuing companies? Suppose you have made 100 crore loss, 2000. Then you multiply 50 times. That is the value of the company, 5,000 crores. So what was the logic? They said whatever losses you are making, it is for your long-term growth. So it's an investment. So that is how that concept went to bust. Similarly, ours also FinTech, we started off well with the Paytm and all. Then we said it is going to be a big business. Then we found there are companies making money like Razor Pay and all. Yeah. In FinTech also there are many companies making money. It's not that they don't make money. So when they found these models were not making money, then people lost interest. So one of the main thing is that you cannot run a model without sustainability for a long time. So you have to start showing profit after some time. For example, Amazon was not making profit for 20 years. 20 years they are not making profit. Then what has helped them? You think it is Amazon? The business model? It is the whatever systems they developed for Amazon, they started using for others, cloud and technology and all. So that is how they became very profitable and see the valuation today. Yeah? So then opportunities, underserved segments. People think that like people think India is not that poor. According to one statistics latest, I think World Bank report, poverty in India, if you define, no, it's only 2.32%. Only 2.32. And some other measure they have, if you do that, it's about 10-11%. Poverty is only 10-11%, and all of you are aware, last 5 years, Indian government is giving free ration to 80 crore people. It is still continuing. It was started for 2 years, then they continued, it's continuing. 80 crore people are being given ration free. Of course, all farmers are getting money, yeah, every year. So all those people are, for example, a maid who came to my house 18 years ago, their total income 18 years ago, 2 people only, husband and wife, total income per month was about 3,000. Today 3 children are working, 5 of them are working. Their total income is 1,40,000. Imagine how, of course, children are working in good companies, but it has been 140. Yeah. So we think that, so now according to government, the poverty is 8 lakhs. If you want to get benefits, no, up to 8 lakhs income, you can get benefits. So that is why now they are saying up to 17 lakhs no tax. 17 or 18?
12 and a half.
Somebody released 17 also. Last week some workout they are given. I don't know. So 12 lakhs, no? 12 lakhs no tax. Which means what is the assumption? 12 lakhs. Then, so opportunity in underserved segments, if you ask me, that is very large. We think that they don't have buying power, but they have the buying power. Yeah? Of course, growth in tier 2-3 cities, what we found in the last 2-3 years, especially in FMCG. Yeah? FMCG growth in rural area was higher than urban areas, growth rate. Of course, cross-border is there, FinTech. Like I told you, UPI has already set up offices in other countries. Government, I think you all should find out, under startup scheme and FinTech scheme, what incentives are being given. Yeah? So you should register as a startup under Government of India startup scheme, then you will get concessional. Competitive, of course, we don't have too much as of today. Alipay is not here. Of course, we have, if you see the payment system, I think Google Pay and Phone Pay, Their market share is 85%, I think so. Similarly, if you talk about digital advertising in India, for first time last year, the digital advertisement spending has crossed the spending in the television, spending in the print. So, digital has become the highest advertisement segment. Out of that, 80% who earns? Yeah, YouTube and Google and Facebook. They earn 80%. Yeah, that is the dominance. So, competition from abroad, of course, strategic partnership and acquisition. Indian companies have started looking at acquiring some small companies in other countries. Innovation is the key. You have to always come up. That is why you have hackathons. The kind of ideas you young people bring, it will not be with old people. Yeah. Then they are discussing about talent shortage, customer acquisition retention. Every company says that we are focused on customer experience, but I have complained with every company where I am buying a product. You have to write. If it doesn't happen, you have to write to the CEO. Then only it gets corrected. Yeah. Social impact, this we discussed, financial inclusion, small business. In fact, Ministry of Commerce has developed a program where they want our MSMEs to export in a big way to other countries. You all know a program called Amazon. There are 1,50,000 Indian MSMEs registered with Amazon. They are selling products in US through Amazon, Indian companies. So, we can use these platforms, Walmart, Amazon, and now China also say we have the largest deficit with China. China also say we want to buy more products from India. So, we can use Alipay, we can use all that, Alibaba, all that can be used. Of course, job creation will be created. Of course, finance is the key to economic growth. So, if FinTech is going to grow in a big way, like I told you, it is going to benefit even people at the lower levels of population. If everybody is going to benefit, their incomes are going to go up, our GDP is going to go up, taxes are likely to go up. So, it is a entire effect. Yeah. Then of course, convenience and accessibility to consumers. 2030 last one. So, we are aiming for a cashless economy with widespread digital payment adoption. Still I have not converted myself into digital. I am more comfortable with cash, but I find others do not have cash to exchange. So, then personalized and proactive financial service. Like I told you, I used to talk about this in classroom about 15 years ago. How do you do a customer segmentation? How many ways you do? Geographic and all. 15 people are here. How many segments are there? 15 segments. That's called personalization. So, this was brought by that time Capital One, now Amazon, Flipkart and all. They know exactly what is your buying pattern, spending pattern, when you will borrow, everything they know. So, exactly when you use this technology, you will be able to tailor make products for each person. Even at twins, there is a difference. The way they eat or spend, there will be a difference. So, that is called personalization. So, if 100 people are there, there are 100 customer segments. There are 100,000 people are there, 100,000 customer segments. So, how you will target? Only through technology. Okay. So then seamless integration of finance into daily life, of course it has happened to all of us. This I already discussed. We are a FinTech leader today. And sustainable we discussed. And of course continuous innovation and adoption. These are all what I wanted to share. Maybe 3-4 questions we can have, then complete. Any questions?
You've been talking about the e-commerce platforms.
Yeah.
So the Indian government has initiated a platform called ONDC.
Yeah.
The rivalry of Amazon and Flipkart. Why do you think it is not as popular as UPI? What might that?
So what do you think? Till recently they had a CEO who was 70 years old. Yeah. I think he retired. So what is that? Why did they start that platform? They wanted to first reduce the transaction cost, so the customer will benefit, and also they want to benefit the merchant. They want to reduce the, in fact when they started, I think they are charging a minimal amount. Now they started charging, I think, a little higher amount. So what is the difference between Amazon, Flipkart and ONDC? Amazon, Flipkart, they have a very large budget for R&D technology. In fact, when we had COVID, Government of India have taken the help of Amazon and Flipkart for logistics planning and supply chain management or distribution of medicines. So in this business, what is important? Technology. That is lacking in ONDC. And second is that it is a government enterprise.
Age is new, relatively young now.
Yeah. Madam. Yeah. Plus all these people, e-commerce, all these head and all, you see, how many years old they are? 35, 40. So ONDC had a CEO who was 72, 71. There are factors. One is that they don't have technology. Second is that they don't have the R&D. Yeah. Third, whatever back end, they don't have. Fourth, risk taking. Amazon and Flipkart, did they make money initially? So you have to wait for 3-4 years. So they sunk a lot of money. Now they are making money.
The platform is new. The
Platform is new but late. See, last 10 years BSE wants to catch up with NSE. In fact, they claim that they have the fastest trading platform in the world. Transaction can happen within 0.0006 millisecond. They are the fastest in the world. So they trade all that. So what is the market share of NSE today? They have gained little. Yeah, last year BSE gained little market share, but they are not able to make. So in this, what happens is that it's always a first mover advantage. So when you have come first, Paytm is still the leader. They might be making losses, but they are still the leader. So that first mover advantage they had. And ONDC, again, there are decision making, the way you do decision making different. Risk taking is different, technology is different, R&D is different. So that is why it will be difficult. It can remain, but it cannot reach a scale which Amazon or Flipkart have reached. Yeah.
So we have been talking about the payment infrastructure and the payment industry, but government has rolled out e-rupee and it is in pilot stage for last 2 years. So where do you see that fits into the system, or what are the use cases that we can use?
Yeah, digital currency, what RBI has decided now, some of these direct benefit transfers. So when they do this direct benefit transfer, they are going to, suppose they are sending it to farmer. So he can use the digital currency only for buying fertilizer inputs. So again, your extension, one is that going into his bank account. Second is the use case will be only for the intended purpose. So that CBDC as a concept will take time. So if you are going to have CBDC, what is the advantage for you as a customer? Are you earning interest? No. Instead of that, you can invest in a gold bond, you still earn 2.5%, and gold is appreciating. Yeah. So now they are trying wherever the government payments are there. Now they are applying. There are use cases. They mandated some of the government enterprises to use. Maybe in private sector also, some of the banks are pushed. They are using, but not on a large scale. If everybody is going to use CBDC, what are the advantages? Your printing costs of currency will be less. Yeah. Now people are saying another 4-5 months there will be a demonetization. There was already some rumor yesterday. Yeah. There will be another demonetization 5-6 months. So all that is not required. But so digital, what happens is that digital currency, I think they already started using it for intended purpose. That is happening. Wide adoption, like what has happened in other cases, it will happen slowly. So now 90% of you don't use the currency at all. So all of you, when you go to work, you will opt for a CBDC. That is safer compared to putting it in Bitcoin. But only difference is Bitcoin can appreciate and depreciate. CBDC will be same. So that is the only advantage as well as disadvantage. No? Any other question, madam? She was in banking for a long time. This presentation they have, so you can circulate to people. Any other questions? Hope you had covered. Huh? What is the time? Okay. Within time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your incredible, insightful session with us,
Yeah.
for sharing your knowledge. I invite Professor Tenmoli to conclude the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Take one picture with the madam.
Yeah.
On the phone, phone also. Yeah.